making a shooter lightning round covering days like 4, 5, 6, and 7. Over the last few days I kept finding things I wasn't happy with, so I got a little sidetracked with making videos, but I ended up going from this to this. After making the last video, I added a very simple scores tracking script. This loads globally across the whole game and is always listening out for signals so it can be used for everything. It simply counts up a score counter by the amount it needs to when it's told to, and then this number can be accessed anywhere for use with everything. For now, it's just displayed on the top left to make sure everything's working right. I spent some time after this cleaning up and reorganizing the enemy script into an enemy class and making sure I could make different kinds of enemies with the code that I had. Thinking all was going well, I went into prototyping a level to see how the game played, and immediately I wasn't happy with what I had. The movement felt flat. It was fun to run and jump around, but it was just missing some kind of juice that I knew it needed if it was going to be a movement-focused shooter. I'd also been pushing off something obvious which is bothering me once I actually tried testing the game, which was that enemies couldn't be headshot. They just felt like bullet sponges and weren't fun. And when I went to add that functionality, I realized something even worse. I couldn't do it with what I had set up. I couldn't actually give enemies a different head and body hitbox with what I had laid out, so headshots and subsequently like any multipliers for score just weren't possible. GODOT consolidates the collision of any character hitboxes into one big hitbox when they're just direct children of the node, and I thought that I'd be able to separate them and use them as two different hitboxes, but with the way I had it all laid out, I couldn't do that. So after ramming my head into the wall trying to get what I had to work, I put my head down and set up two different areas 3Ds as different hitboxes and wrote scripts that can be used with any of them. Now I've got functionality where I can just set hitboxes, set their score values, set their multiplier, and everything works how I thought it would. This ended up being for the best. I can do exactly what I needed to do and even more, but in the moment it was pretty frustrating. Now that enemies were working how I hoped, I had to juice up the movement or else the entire project was just kind of pointless. I knew what I needed was for the camera and the character to actually lean into the movement that they were doing to sell the sense of speed that I was trying to go for. I didn't want to hand-bake the animations for everything, it'd be super tedious and just increase the development time by a ton, but people out there have solved this problem with math, and thankfully JungaBoon's video on dynamic weapon tilt was exactly what I needed. It would have taken me ages to figure this out without his video, so thank you for that. In implementing just the pieces from that video that I needed, the character was feeling way more reactive and satisfying already. With the movement juiced up and the enemy framework actually functional, I went back to the test level I had made and was already way happier with what I had. With the proof of concept feeling actually good to play, I feel way more confident pushing forward with the structure of the game. Follow for the next update. I'll try to keep it more consistent, but I felt like I had a lot to fix this time before making any more videos.